Report of a structure fire around 6 p.m. last evening. What started out to be a fire in a detached two-car garage quickly extended to a nearby shed directly behind it, the Mesquite Road behind it, and also to the primary dwelling. And it was a very significant fire is the fact that it was so hot so quickly that it extended into the attic space of the dwelling and also under the floor. As firefighters were going in to protect that structure, the floor was collapsing underneath them. At one given point in time, we no longer could occupy the space within the structure because the ceiling collapses and the floor giving away. A neighbor came up to us and presented a curious scenario of a young boy in the area of the fire just kind of observing it. And as a result of that, the Deputy State Fire Marshal was unavailable, so we conducted the investigation, and ultimately we determined that an 8-year-old neighbor was directly responsible for setting the fire within this detached garage.
How was it ignited, do you know?
It's our understanding that it was a Bic lighter used with flammable liquids and possibly some stored fireworks.
So it was intentional.
It was an intentional act, and unfortunately for the family, they came home to find not only their garage but their possessions and within the dwelling, everything gone.
Was anybody injured in this fire?
There were no injuries, but curiously, there was 3 pets that were thought to have maybe died within the fire because of the extent of the fire upon our arrival. But toward just as the fire was placed under control, we were going from room to room systematically from a safe perspective because, again, we couldn't occupy the space within the structure. We found all 3 dogs alive. We rescued them by removing a window from the house and actually doing some cutting, got them safely out, and we utilized the new pet mask that we just purchased in conjunction with the IFF local. And so it was great for us to see not only the fact that they were alive, but to see this new equipment utilized so quickly after purchasing it.
So these are for oxygen for the animals?
It's direct oxygen delivery systems that go over the muzzles, and we have the different sizes because we actually had 3 different sized animals last night that needed these. A moderate sized dog, probably weighing about 65, 70 pounds, down to a dachshund type size that required a smaller mask.
How are they doing now?
From what I know as of last evening, they were doing well, but they were being transported to a veterinarian over in Las Vegas to see how they were doing.
So the primary dwelling and attached structures all destroyed?
The contents of the interior is the floor was severely compromised, as were the ceilings. The structure itself remains standing, and if you were to look at it from the outside, you wouldn't think that it was actually a total loss. But again, given the fact that the fire was just ferocious underneath that substructure and right up into the attic space, those areas were significantly damaged.
And then as far as the juvenile, he's being dealt with the Nye County Sheriff's Office right now?
That in the juvenile probation office through the county, that's correct.
What kind of advice do you have out there for kids that might be experiencing or showing some signs of some issues going on? Fire starting is kind of a symptom of a bigger issue, isn't it?
It really is, because as we've talked many, many times, both on the air and off, juvenile fire setters are such a primary concern of ours. It's one of the first things we look at just about any time we come across a structure fire. And there are resources available to the folks. And if we start exhibiting those signs, or you have a curiosity coming into play with a fire setting around in the woods or grasses or anything like that, call the fire department. We can hook you up and get you connected with the resources that could help you.